going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
Come on.
I have actually...
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ryan. I'm a former commando from the United Kingdom. And today we're going to be getting into a video titled Full Argument Between Trump and Zelenskyy. It's a news video, guys, so we're allowed to react on this as much as we want to, which is really good. I have watched parts of it before on the internet. It's got like 8 or 9 million views or something. There's loads of stuff going on about whether Trump was disrespectful in this meeting or not, if JD was disrespectful. We're going to find that out. We're going to break it all down for you guys today. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for stopping by, troops. Let's get straight into this one. I need to put it back to the beginning, though, because we've watched part of it already.
He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it.
Obviously, he's in reference to Putin there, isn't he?
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I think this bit here was actually the start point for when things started to go south with regards to how they were talking to each other. Just the way they were talking, the rhetoric, the manners in which they talked, the body language and everything was off, wasn't it? You can see in Trump's face here, he's thinking, hang on a minute, you know, what's this all about?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
Come on.
I've actually watched and seen the...
Yeah, I think Zelenskyy there, the way he was talking there was a little bit passive-aggressive, and that's why they've pounced on them. If you know anything about these guys here, especially Americans, it's like, just be... It comes up... There's a thing about etiquette anywhere you go, okay? But when he's in the Oval Office and he's talking a little bit out of turn, whether you agree with the underlying principles behind what he's saying, okay, or not, that's a different matter. It's just how he's talking. He's very defensive. You can see in his arms here as well. Look at his arms. They're crossed, they're folded. His facial expressions are very... He's quite passively aggressive, I think, guys. But let me know below. Am I reading this entirely wrong?
The stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions.
They've had a lot of help, an awful lot of help. So yeah, it's we have a saying, you know, don't bite the hand that feeds you, so to speak. Don't bite the hand that's feeding you. And I'm not saying that America's solely helping them out. Obviously, there's a lot of countries involved in this as well. Ukraine's trying very hard. The troops on the ground. We covered this war from the start, actually, for about a year or so. So we know an awful lot about Ukraine and how it's developed. It's terrible over there. The killing needs to stop. That's the first thing I would say. But with regards to his rhetoric, how he's come on there, his whole demeanor just seems a little bit passive-aggressive, and that's the thing that I've got a problem with. If I was there in that meeting, it wouldn't necessarily be the words that he's saying, it's how he's saying it that would affect me, and it would get my back up as well. It's just the way I am. So, yeah, I align naturally towards America with this anyway because of just how he's actually aligning himself verbally. So... I don't know, it's a tricky one, this, because I understand the information behind what he's saying isn't entirely wrong either, okay? Zelensky's coming from somewhat a good place, I believe, but it's how he's saying it.
Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
This is where I think he could have said it differently again. Maybe he's I don't want to say a language barrier, he speaks perfect English, but the way in which he's saying it is, it's typical European, all right? They're quite passively aggressive people, they don't know it, they just speak that way, all right? I've worked with a number of individuals, one of my very, very best friends, I'm not going to mention his name or where he's from, somewhere in Europe. If you didn't know him, like I know him personally, you'd think, who the hell is this guy? He's talking to me like I'm a piece of dirt on the floor. It's just kind of the way they speak. So yeah.
God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're
doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad position,
beginning
and
of
he
the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you don't.
I'm
Yeah,
very
you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
It's just reminded me of that meme that was going around, the AI generated one where they start throwing cards around and stuff. It was awesome. Anyway, I'm getting distracted now. What I want to actually say, I don't think Trump would have interjected there had Zelenskyy not been passively aggressive from the start. I think he's just coming back at him now because he can say, you know, you're not going to feel anything. He sees that as an opportunity to go, well, actually, I'm going to put you in your place a little bit here. You're here for one reason, to gain more help, to gain more traction from Europe. We're the guys that can facilitate that for you. Forget about the money. We're giving loads of money anyway, but, you know, they can facilitate other things here. The passive aggressiveness needs to stop. This is just a man thing, all right? If it was two females there, they'd be talking differently. Trump's putting him in his place because of the way he's talking to him and how he was talking to him. Not necessarily because of what he's saying, although he is jumping on that now. I don't think he would have had Zelenskyy came in there with a different tone. What do you guys think?
You're playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
what do you think
You're
about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's
with all
backed
respect to
you
your
far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not.
Yeah, again, he's been quite... I think he's been passive-aggressive, and the only way they can counteract that is by being a little bit passive-aggressive back. I don't think this whole conversation would have went south as quick if Zelenskyy just didn't start off that way. That's my opinion. Again, I'm not the most clued up on politics and stuff like that, but you know, when it comes to how people treat each other and how they talk, you guys have been watching my channel for a long time now, know I'm pretty honed in on that. All right, I pick up the little microaggressions and stuff from people, and I think that's where they're firing back from. The microaggressions has made this into this type of conversation. Do I want to say Trump and that other guy's fallen for it? A little bit, yeah. I mean, it could have been a bit more professional how they conducted themselves. But hey, we're talking about America here. They're standing up for themselves. They're standing up for what they believe in. And let's put it this way, they're doing the right thing in terms of helping them anyway. So it's not as if they're not doing anything, okay? It's a difficult one, this.
Speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn.
He was going to say, I know there, but he's like, you know, are they winning it? Well, you know, this has been going on a long time now, guys. A long time. Too long. No end in sight as well when you think about how it first started. I thought it would have been over in a couple of weeks, to be fair. Without Western support, it would have been over in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, there's too many people died. That's the fact of the matter. Too many people died. Bad decision making.
Damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
allowed.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
allowed.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West
if you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 2
Yeah,
days,
he said
I
it.
could-
I mean, I've watched part of this video before, but 2 weeks is what I said as well. 2 weeks, I think, has been a little bit fair as well. I think it probably would have been even quicker. They had an awful lot of support, a lot of money. I think he quoted 350 billion there from, and I'm going to put in quotes here, stupid president. No comment. You guys, yeah. I'll leave the American politics to you guys to a degree. I'm not going to start calling other presidents stupid and stuff, but One thing I will say, he did like to get his head down when he was talking to people, didn't he? So
Ordered from Putin in 3 days. This is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks. Of course he has.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of
except
times,
that there
that's a bit harsh. He said thank you in the past. I don't think he needs to keep on saying thank you, bowing down on his knee type thing. That whole say thank you thing is a bit childish for me. I get it. He's putting him in his place humbly, trying to say, listen, you should be saying thank you, but yeah, national TV, President Zelenskyy, you know, trying to get him to say thank you and all of that number of times. It puts him in a weak position as well, doesn't it, politically, if you think about it. So no one wants to back down. There are leaders of the country here, 2 of them, and they're it's men being men, all right? These arguments take place in pubs the same way, with the same dynamic. Nothing changes, whether it's at the bottom or it's at the top of the tree.
except
To American people.
except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low on
know.
soldiers.
Don't- don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire.
Yeah, this is the thing. He should have took the ceasefire deal. This is something that I agree with wholeheartedly. I was in the military, okay? I understand that war is, it's a terrible thing. I think if you have any opportunity to stop conflict, war, people dying through, you know, soldiers, ammunition, artillery shells, buildings being destroyed, generations of people being wiped out, then you do it. You stop that war. And Zelenskyy obviously didn't take that opportunity, which I think is poor. All right, that's poor. That'll be remembered in the history books. Okay. One life is bad enough. Never mind how many lives is being lost in Ukraine right now. If someone can drop a quote below how many people have actually died in Ukraine right now on both sides, there's numbers that will terrify people.
I want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
Doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
But this
That
is
was
your,
with, that
this
was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful.
Oh, he doesn't like that there. Zelensky's face, you can see him turning his face in like, I disagree with this guy, but I don't know, it is quite funny. It's quite a funny interaction, but it's not at the same time. But
Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards.
he doesn't have the cards. It's been said quite a few times now. He looks like he's been beaten into submission here, doesn't he?
With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry,
It'll
here.
be a tough deal to make because the attitudes have to change.
I
What
agree.
if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
What
She's
if
asking, what if Russia
Putin
breaks the ceasefire?
But what if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
But they have
Okay?
Yeah,
What
true.
if they broke it?
That's true. I've seen this a lot on social media as well, going, well, the ceasefire means nothing. What if this happens, that happens, the other happens, he's going to break it. If he doesn't break it within a day, a week, or whatever, it's pointless. Guess what, guys? You have to start from somewhere. The starting point has to be like, right, how can we get this stopped? First and foremost, a ceasefire is a logical way of stopping people dying. You don't know what's going to happen there on after, but you can bet your bottom dollar if you don't have a ceasefire in place, then they're not going to cease firing, are they? So, yeah, it makes sense. I agree with Trump on this one, guys, 100%.
I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama.
I agree. I think Biden was, I'm not going to say he was a weak leader, but in the eyes of certain countries around the world, he will have definitely been deemed as a weak leader. You can't deny that. I'm not saying he was a weak leader for the United States, but in the eyes of others. I think he came across like that. I mean, falling asleep in meetings for a start, not really a good selling point. I know there was a lot of propaganda behind, you know, clips and stuff to make him look worse, yada, yada, yada. But you can like Trump, you can hate Trump, but he's not a weak leader. That's one thing's for sure.
They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia, the 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal.
The Ukrainian people fighting the war, yeah, they're the brave ones in this. And I feel sorry for them guys.
Or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do about putting it together.
He looks so deflated. He came in with a bit of a tough guy attitude, passive aggressive, and he looks really deflated now. That's how I summarize this. Not good to see. It's fun to see. It's fun to react to. We can, you know, we can react to stuff like this all day if you want, guys. If you want to see it, I'm happy to do this stuff. Happy days. It's quite funny, actually, but we are dealing with like world leaders and stuff, and it has real life consequences. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I enjoyed that one today, guys. I am feeling better being back on YouTube, actually. So, please, I need all the help I can get. Please like it, share the video, comment for the algorithm. Comment 10, 20 times if you want to. And I'll see you in the next video, troops. Thank you for being here.